Joining me tonight, Obama campaign spokesman Ben LaBolt. Ben, how can President Obama attack Mitt Romney on his time in private equity at Bain, highlighting only times when Bain cost company jobs, and at the same time hold high-priced fundraisers with the head of another private equity firm who's done work with Bain, the Blackstone Group, or hire people who've worked in other private equity firms in his own administration?
Well, you know, Mitt Romney hasn't been forthright with the American people about what he did during his tenure as a corporate buyout specialist and what his goals were. He's been campaigning across the country telling people that he was a job creator, but he's never been able to substantiate a number of jobs that were created. That's because his partners have admitted that the goal was wealth creation for themselves.
Right, but that's what private equity.
It wasn't a focus on these middle-class families across the country. It was wealth creation.
Private equity is about wealth creation for investors, and I know that's not what he's saying, but that's what it is about. But I don't understand why it's okay for the president's private equity supporters to bankrupt companies and put people out of work, but it's not okay for Mitt Romney's equity firm to do that.
The president has support from business leaders across industries who agree with his vision of building an economy that's built to last, where hard work and responsibility are rewarded, where everybody from Main Street to Wall Street plays by
you yourself said that's not what private equity. You yourself said that's not what private equity is about, and yet the president is accepting money from private equity firms. Isn't that hypocritical?
Who believe that the right thing to do was put in place those protections to ensure that we never have a financial crisis like we did in 2008, and that middle-class families across the country are not held hostage by risky financial deals. Governor Romney would take a very different approach. He would repeal those protections.
Okay, but you're not answering any of the question. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what is different between Bain and Governor Romney's experience in private equity and the experience of private equity firms that the president is taking money from.
Well, here are the facts, Anderson. Governor Romney has based his candidacy for the Oval Office on his tenure as a corporate buyout specialist. He said that that's the economic record that we should evaluate, that that's the type of philosophy, economic philosophy, he would bring into the Oval Office. And we took a look at the record. We took a look at the fact that he loaded up companies with debt across the country. This case of Amped, a plant in Marion, Indiana, 250 workers lost their jobs. Romney and his partners came in. They loaded the company up with debt, laid off all of the workers, forced them to reapply for their jobs. Security guards bolted the doors. They went through the reapplication
I get it. People were laid off.
Their benefits were stripped down.
Right. But I mean,
and Romney and his partners walked away.
Right. But Cory Booker, your own supporter, said on Meet the Press, quote, if you look at the totality of Bain Capital's record, they've done a lot to support businesses, to grow businesses. Do you not agree with that?
You know what Mayor Booker also said?
Well, you know, but do you not agree with that? You're picking and choosing what companies you're focused on Bain Capital.
We're not questioning Romney's right to run a business as he saw fit, and we're not questioning the private equity industry generally. What will concern the American people are the lessons.
What you're describing are the lessons and
values, the lessons and values and experiences that Governor Romney took from that, and whether he'd apply those same lessons and values to the Oval Office. And it's not focused on restoring economic security for the middle class.
Cory Booker also labeled the descent into personal attacks on both sides of this campaign as nauseating. Romney's campaign has described the president in unflattering personal terms. There's no doubt about it. The campaign calls him a liar at times. But don't these ads that you're running attacking Romney's, don't they attack his personal values? I mean, you have people, you know, saying he's the opposite of Robin Hood. You have one ad where the person says, you can tell by the way he acts, the way he talks, he doesn't care anything about the middle class or the lower class people. Isn't that personal?
Well, you know what Mayor Booker also said was that a discussion of Mitt Romney's tenure in the private sector was legitimate.
Right, that's what he said in the 35-second edited down version that you tweeted out. But in the longer version and in his original comments, that's what he said. I mean, do you deny that you're engaging in any kind of personal attacks on Mitt Romney, or is it okay to do that? I'm not saying it's not, but
Governor Romney believes that any discussion of his record is automatically negative campaigning, which I think tells you something about his record. He's put this forward as his economic record. We'll talk about the president's economic record. We were losing 750,000 jobs a month when he came into office. Businesses have created more than 4.2 million Private sector jobs, manufacturing was in decline. It's resurgent. The auto industry was on the brink. GM's the #1 automaker in the world again. We'll talk about the president's record, and we'll talk about Governor Romney's record.
Ben LaBolt, I appreciate you being on. Thanks.